Hello Internet, welcome back to our tutorial Let's Play. We're just going to dive back into the lab and we're going to be doing something a little different. So previously in this series we have been doing a lot of tutorial content and I've been completely ignoring the commentary that I normally give in my series. But today, because I don't have anything in particular to talk about from the game perspective, we're just going to be given regular old commentary, so it's not going to be very tutorial-y. We'll still explain what we're doing and why we're doing it. You know what? I'm going to hang on to that rebar for bashing because I don't want to smash with my gun. We need to charge that jackhammer, but until we find something new, there's no reason to leave the car running. I'd rather just come back and read while we charge it, so we're just going to dive back into the basement. Did I swap that battery in my flashlight? I did. Oh, so yeah, running out of footage is really my issue this week. I just have not had time to record. My niece was here over the weekend. We went down another floor. That's right, because we had that terrible episode where we saw the 50 cal turret and I didn't know what I was doing, and it was probably the worst episode in the series so far, honestly, given how terribly I handled that situation. But whatever. Just hopefully no one thinks any less of me. Oh, good. Errors. I love errors. West and below you hear blam. Well, there was another turret down here. That's probably what that is. So we're just going to explore down here, I think. Yeah, turret in here. 50 cal was in here. Yep, let's just... oh, and good. There are downstairs here as well. Let's note this downstairs so that we remember when we finally do go down that we have one really close to our upstairs. Yeah, niece was here over the weekend and just haven't been feeling motivated since then. So a little problematic. I'm running out of footage. And then today was like a prime candidate for recording. Big open, somewhat scary room. Because if there's a turret in one of the corners, we could have a problem. But doesn't look like that is an issue here. They probably would have hit us by now through the glass. So yeah, just don't have footage. Unfortunately, I have enough episodes of this for another day or two. Looks like there were some breather. This is some sort of unearthly pink flesh sac, moist and ridged with veins. Otherwise, without discernible exterior features, seemingly immobile and defenseless, it sits in place, swelling and collapsing upon itself as it breathes. Now, I've heard of these, but this is the first time that I have ever seen this creature. Its name is in purple, which I find peculiar as well. Why is your name purple? What does purple mean? Or pink, or whatever, mauve, or whatever you want to call it. And there's Tough Zombie. It is uninjured. Let's, do we have the gun wielded? Yeah, let's shoot this chap. And we'll go poke those little blobby boys because I don't really know what their deal is. It's not moving. Why is it not moving? It's possible that it's registering this as an enemy. And so it wasn't moving, but it also wasn't attacking them. Okay, they're shootable. Let's go approach one. There's a lot of them. What's your deal? Are you hostile? Ignoring my presence. What is this? Probably coming through the portal. A weird mass of immobile pink goo. It seems to breathe. Interesting. So presumably they're a type of blob. Let's smash this corpse. The fact that they're at a portal is concerning. But also they don't seem to be doing anything, so we'll just ignore them and hopefully they haven't done anything horrendous to our character. Because I have no idea. I've never seen them before. Very interesting. Very interesting indeed. So we'll grab this, I guess. We want more booze for skill raising. It raises your morale, so. Yeah, and then, so last night, doing my job, which I drive for a living, in case you don't know, but you probably do. Because I talk about it pretty much all the time. Had a flat tire. In fact, 2 days ago I saw I had a screw in my tire, and I forgot to do anything about it because I forgot all about it. And then last night it was rainy, and I came up on a stop sign a little too fast, and I hit the brakes and skidded, and then I heard and was like, oh, right. There was a screw in my tire, and I must have dragged, like it must have been underneath the tire when I hit the brakes and skidded. So, yeah, had a flat tire. Took me a minute to change the tire because I was nowhere near a gas station or anything. I had to do it in the dark on a long country road using just a mag light. And it was not optimal. And it took me probably 20 minutes in the dark. I had a hard time with the lug nuts. I keep meaning to put a pipe in my car to help with the leverage of getting the lug nuts off because I for some reason, they always seem to bulge on my car. I think I over-tighten them sometimes, and it leads to them bulging. And then they're really hard. See, this is concerning. My interpretation of what I'm seeing here, most likely this is a dissector, and this was a fat zombie. So it was smashing the doors and came over here and then stepped on the dissector and died. That's my suspicion, but there's a possibility that there's actually a turret in this room. It's very unlikely because this enemy has dropped its clothing on this tile. So if it had been a turret in this room, as it approached, the turret would have shot and killed it because turrets are incredibly accurate and very powerful at close range. So it would have died here, dropped all of its clothing, resurrected in the nude, and then proceeded and gotten killed, and then proceeded and gotten killed, etc., etc. So the fact that it has its clothes on it implies to me that it died on this tile, or that doesn't imply, that is absolutely what happened. So most likely this is a dissector, but because of the broken doorways and things, we're going to just be careful as we approach on the off chance that there is a turret nearby that killed it. Again, we see a blob that had died on the dissector. Is what that appears to be. Yeah, this is a dissector room. And it's a slime room and another dissector room. So it's clear, but we need to be careful. Again, you can lure things into the dissector if you need to do a lot of damage. It deals significant damage to creatures. Oh, there's no slimes in this room, even though it's a slime room. That's interesting. So is this one. Oh, that's odd. Maybe just because they're so small, they didn't generate the slime pits. Or goo pits, or whatever they're called. Anyway, got the donut on. And as soon as I got the donut on, more smashed glass. We're going to be very careful when we proceed past glass doors. Because again, there is a turret room that I believe looks exactly like this. Where it's just this same layout, but there's a turret in the dead center. And because of the glass walls, this can be extremely dangerous. So although it doesn't look like there is a turret in this room, it is possible that there's a turret in this room. In fact, it may be this room with the multiple glass tiles. So I'm going to be really careful as we proceed down because I believe there's a turret down here. In fact, we can see the casings on the turret. So let's turn off our light. Okay, there is no light in that room, unfortunately. So this turret will be located in the center of the room. We actually can't see it. That's funny. So we should be able to step past here. That's interesting. And there is the turret. You appear to be the same old 556 turret we've seen before. This is a shady zombie. I don't know if we ever talked about them. They're invisible in the dark. So that whole logic that we used up there to determine that this was a dissector doesn't really apply when it's a shady zombie because in the darkness it's invisible until it's right next to an enemy. So even though we would see the shady in the middle of the room, we wouldn't see the turret necessarily or any of these casings. But if the shady's dead in the middle of the room, it could very well have walked up to a turret without the turret being able to see it and then been killed. So we can't guarantee. Let's look what this CBM is. Weather reader. Not a very good CBM, but we will take it. Oh, that's right. We're still lit up from the flashlight. So that was a foolish decision. But we should be able to safely navigate here now. We're hearing things below us. Mechanical whirring from below. That implies robots. Hostile detected from the south. So it seems like we were detected in this section. I don't... Maybe that was the message from before. That was the message from before. My mistake. We're just going to loot around a little bit. We'll grab this disposable battery, which it's going to drop on the ground for some reason. Oh, nope, it put it in my inventory that time. Why? Before it was dropping everything on the floor. Anyway, got the lug nuts off, put the donut on. It was a whole ordeal. I'm filthy, and it was really frustrating because I never really buy food when I'm on my route, but I had that night been like, you know what, I'm going to treat myself. So I bought some mozzarella sticks at the gas station, which I know it's a gas station. You really shouldn't eat food from the gas station. Prisoner containment, we did hear something in there, so probably a scientist zombie. We're going to try to get in here so we can, you hear clang, yeah, so definitely a zombie. We're going to get in here on the hopes of finding a, oh, you should reload and use the full clip just in case. Yeah. Also, next time I get that message, I should ignore it rather than hitting spacebar. Oh, we don't have the jackhammer. Yeah, so let's go up and get the jackhammer. Where, we were down here. Okay. That's right, we came through the scary glass room. We hear whirring over there. I'm not sure what creates mechanical whirring sounds. Probably a mobile robot, so that may very well be the lab finale, which we will talk about when we get there. For now, we're just going to head up and charge our jackhammer. Walked into the gas cloud, always exciting. Where, over this way. Where are my stairs? Is it these stairs? Yes. So we'll go up here. Yeah, I just bought mozzarella sticks and was like super excited to eat them because I never buy food like that. And was like, man, it's a nice treat, you know? And then as soon as I started eating them, I blew the tire, or it didn't blow, it just started leaking. And I was like, man, it's hissing. I should try to get to the gas station. And I drove back towards the gas station, but then I had a flat tire and it was like a mile more. And I was like, I really don't want to drive the main road for a mile on a flat tire. I don't want to bend up my rims and stuff. So let's flip on the charger here. So I stopped and changed it on a country road. And felt not great about it, you know. It was raining as well, which is always fun to have to do that kind of stuff in the rain. And but I got the donut on. Started driving to finish my route, and let's pick a book to read. Where are my books? Hit the read menu is easier. So what do we want to read here? We've already raised our first aid, which was like my main thing. We could start raising our tailoring in hopes of getting some chitin armor. That's probably the smart play. Alternatively, if we have a rifle book, where's our rifle skill at? We can't see it. Scroll down, please. Is 1. I mean, our rifle skill is going to level up. I don't know that we need to focus it, but if we had a rifle book, I'd read it. Or a marksmanship book. Actually, our marksmanship is high enough. Yeah, we'll just read Friendly Humane Fashion. We'll read it from this menu to pick it up into our inventory, and then we'll just step outside here. Let's make sure I turn on the recharger because I'm dumb and forget things. Yes, okay. So that should be charging. Yes. So let's pop out and read while that charges. Actually, stop. Sorry. Let's. I know we've been reading a lot, and I know it's not fun to watch, but I mean, needs to be done. So we'll keep eating that to just keep some food in our belly. Where's my alcohol? Well, root beer. We'll have a swig of root beer. Didn't I just pick up a Pilsner? Yes. Drink the Pilsner. Drink some herbal tea, and we're good. So let's also grab the MP3. Wrong pile. MP3. Activate the MP3. And now we will read. That should help with our focus loss. Help us stabilize in the 70s probably. Or around, looks like we're holding steady in the 80s actually. No, we're not. Never mind. Yeah, and so I got the donut on the car and was filthy and was like, nah, I got these mozzarella sticks and it's like they're all cold and congealed at this point. So that was disappointing. And I started driving my route and my car is like thump, 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 like knocking really loudly. And I was like, that's not right, you know? So I pulled over and I got out and I checked the lug nuts and the lug nuts are all tight. And I was like, okay. so it's not my lug nuts. I checked all the tires to make sure I didn't have another flat, which I didn't. It was like, okay, well, I don't know if I could drive it like this. So I drove it a little bit more. Every time I got up around 30, 45, it was knocking really bad. The steering wheel was shaking. And I was like, oh man, I really don't know what to do here. So I drove back to the gas station very slowly, and took the tire off and was like, it's so dumb. I feel so dumb for even saying this out loud, but I was like, well, maybe I put the tire on backwards. Like maybe because the donut looks the same basically from both sides. It's hard to tell, but I checked and the valve was on the outside and the valve was supposed to be on the outside. But I took the tire off and was looking at it. I was like, maybe I bent something driving on the flat for a little bit, or maybe it felt like when my wheel bearing had gone out previously. So I was like, oh man, maybe it's just the wheel bearing is dying now. But I couldn't do my route like that, so I had the tire off, and I called my family member, because I always call my grandpa when stuff like that happens, because he's like I'm not very manly, that's kind of that stereotypical man thing of like, how to fix your car, and you know how to plumb your pipes and take care of your house, and like I'm not that person at all. I can change a tire, but that's about the extent of my mechanical knowledge. I could change a battery, that kind of stuff, but basic maintenance stuff that everyone should know how to do. But I called him and was like, hey, I really don't know what I'm doing here. I told him I had a flat tire. I changed it, but the donut is thumping really, really badly. I don't feel like it's drivable. I took it off again. Can you just come look at it? And as soon as I called and woke him up, because this is like 4 a.m, I was like, oh, I shouldn't have called. Like, you should have been able to handle this yourself. This is, what's he going to do? You already know that you changed it. Like, there's literally all you do is put the lug nuts on. It's not like you did something super wrong. So I immediately regretted calling right after I did, because I knew I woke him up and like, and I'm standing there in the rain and got the tire off and just sitting in the gas station where I make deliveries every day to that gas station. And I know they're in there looking at me like, what's he doing out there with his tire off his car? And was just so embarrassed. And a family member came out and basically was like, we put the tire back on, and he was like, it looks fine. And then he left, and I felt really bad that I had woken him up for that, because it's like, why did I even call? I should have been. Some of it is that masculinity stuff where you're like, man, I wish I was more manly and could be confident, because that was what it was. It was like, as soon as I got there and took it off, I was like, you did something wrong. There's something that I did wrong, and that's why it's not working. And I just wish I had confidence to be like, I did everything right. There's literally, all you do is take the lug nuts off, put the tire on, put the lug nuts back on. It's not like I did something wrong. So I felt really bad, and then had to finish the route. Looks like there might be a smoker in here. Thin smoke, thick smoke. Okay, so in the lab there are smoke vents. We've discussed vents previously. So there are smoke vents, so it's possible this is just from a vent. It's also possible that there is a smoker zombie in this cloud of smoke. So if you're not familiar, we haven't seen one yet. Smoker zombies are from Left 4 Dead. If you've ever played Left 4 Dead, basically in this game, they produce a giant cloud of smoke around them. They don't actually tongue you the way that they do in Left 4 Dead. In Left 4 Dead, they grapple you with their tongue and pull you across the ground. That's not in the game. It's just producing a large cloud of smoke, which of course obscures enemies, which is problematic. But the main reason that smoke is so dangerous, why don't we kill this guy before he causes me some problems? The main reason that smoke is dangerous is not because you can't see the enemies. That's definitely problematic. The main issue is that when you step into smoke, your stamina will be absolutely destroyed. We've seen that in this playthrough when I walk through like the exhaust of the car, or when we go through the cloud of poison or whatever. It affects our stamina, and breathing in smoke will inhibit your stamina regen. So getting one lungful of smoke will prevent you from safely running away from the enemies, as well as making it very difficult to fight in melee, because you need stamina to effectively fight in melee. Now, this scientist zombie had quite a few good things on them, which we did not touch on when we killed them previously. Number one, it has a clean and ready-to-install CBM, which allows you to circumvent the need to clean your own CBMs, because scientist zombies can sometimes drop fully repaired, ready-to-install CBMs. Not only that, this is an excellent CBM. This is the Night Vision Cbm, and what this does is functionally the same as getting something like... it's not functionally the same, but it's very beneficial. It's like getting night vision goggles or infrared goggles. It will greatly increase the radius in which we can see in the dark. That is exactly what we have been looking for. For instance, with our inability to see turrets in the dark, this would circumvent that by giving us a much larger radius. So we are going to prioritize installing that pretty much immediately. The problem is we don't currently have any bionic batteries, so when you install a CBM that requires charge, because this will eat up battery charge as you use it, whenever you install a CBM like that, it will give you a very small pool of power, but what we're really looking for are the battery storage CBMs. So that's one thing that this scientist zombie dropped that is very valuable. The second is the Science ID card. This is an incredibly valuable piece of equipment. Number one, when we came into this lab, remember, there was a double thick wall, concrete wall on all sides. There was a door in the front with a card reader, and there was a turret in the middle hallway. If we go to a future science lab, like if we go to this lab down here, I believe there's also a card reader that we could just activate this card in. So activating the card reader not only opens the door and saves you the time of having to pickaxe through the wall, which is not that big of a deal, it also deactivates the turret in that hallway. And that's super valuable because it prevents you from having to deal with a turret in the dark, essentially. Secondarily, Science ID cards can be used to activate mechs that are in the game. So there are mechs in the game of varying value. I don't really like them very much, but they exist. And in order to activate them, you require a Science ID card. So, Science ID card's pretty valuable. I also believe that the CBM vault, one of the vaults, I think, has a card reader on it. Doesn't it? It might not, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But Science ID card's very valuable. Definitely 100% pick them up. Anytime you see any kind of ID card, highly recommend you pick it up. Number one, Science is probably the most useful one. There's also military ID cards and industrial ID cards, and those are less valuable. Military ID cards you would think would be necessary for the mech, but as of the last time I checked, they were all Science ID card requirements. Even the militaristic mechs require a Science ID card, or they did 3 months ago when they were implemented. I haven't really played with them that much. So we definitely want the Night Vision CBM, highly valuable. Definitely want the Science ID card, and then additionally we're going to butcher this corpse, dissect this corpse. The reason I pulled it away from here is because if I stepped in this tile, literally exactly what I just had happen is what I was afraid of happening. We got a lung full of smoke. But I was afraid if we hauled from this tile, it would give the smoke a chance to expand into our tile, which we didn't want. But now we've inhaled it anyway. So let's watch our stamina as this happens. We have the smoke in our mouth. If we check it, we get -1 strength and -1 dexterity. But let's just go walk around a little bit. Actually, not that impactful on our stamina. It must only be if we're standing in that tile for a long period of time, because our stamina is fine. But definitely be careful when engaging zombies in a cloud of smoke. This appears to be a vent. Otherwise, we would have seen a smoker emerge when we shot our gun and was doing inventory stuff. So I'm guessing that's just a smoke vent. But anyway, let's haul this corpse a little further away so we can butcher safely. Go ahead and flip on our flashlight. Butcher. Zombie scientist dissect. Fingers crossed we get a CBM here. Dissect the corpse with a trusty scalpel. Anyway, the long and short of that story is that I finished my route. The car was thumping atrociously. I couldn't go more than 25 miles an hour when I was driving that car. Fully expected to not have that work out for me today, but my family member actually got my tire plugged while I was sleeping. And I just went out a little while ago and put the tire back on the car. So, and then drove it a little bit just to make sure everything was fine, because again, I was worried it was the wheel bearing again. And it is fine, and it drives fine. So it took care of it, but it did eat up some of my day from, you get the tire, you put the tire on the car, that takes, I don't know, 10 minutes. And then you drive around a little bit, and I drove through the country, so like I stopped and petted a horse and had like a nice little, just like whatever. And then by the time I come home, and have eaten my dinner and everything, right now it's 8:30 p.m. I do not have time to record, and I'm just like out of footage, and I'm very concerned that we're falling behind. Anyway, we found a bionic from dissecting this scientist. It is the Joint Torsion Ratchet, CBM. Again, CBMs come in a variety of flavors. There are utility CBMs, there are combat CBMs, there are battery-specific CBMs that just give you battery power. This is a recharging CBM. What this does is recharge your biopower. So like if we had, let's say, we installed our night vision, we installed a couple batteries, we might have, let's say, 250 bionic power. As we use our CBMs, that will deplete over time. So once we deplete our CBMs, the only way to replenish that is with a CBM that replenishes bioelectric energy. There are quite a few of these in the game. There are mostly 2 or 3 that you will use on a regular basis, and then there's an additional 1 or 2 that aren't very good. The Joint Torsion Ratchet is my preferred CBM. Basically what this does when we activate it, it basically replaces the user's joints so that they slowly regenerate power when they move. And that's exactly what it is. You turn this on, it uses more stamina for you to move, but movement recharges your bionic power. So it's not good for combat because it reduces your stamina as you move and whatnot, and that's very, very dangerous. But it allows you to basically recharge bionic power by doing nothing but walking back and forth. So if you know that you're not, if you're just puttering around the base, all you have to do is pop this on as you're walking around the base, or maybe you're walking down the street or whatever, and you'll slowly accumulate bioelectric energy. So Joint Torsion Ratchet, pretty good. It is filthy and faulty because we pulled it out of a corpse, which means there's some legwork in getting that into a state where we can actually work it to be placed into our body. But it's something. I'd like to slip up here if we can get a clearance of this smoke. If we had a gas mask or something, we could safely traverse the smoke, but I don't, and I never wear them, so probably not going to do that. I would like just to get in the room to peek around and see what's in the cages, because if there's more zombies in the cages that could have CBMs, we would want to crack it open to kill them, but we kind of need this square to dissipate. There we go. Slip in here, got the hiccups a little bit, always exciting. What are you? Eclipse Glasses. So these are glasses you would wear to look at the sun during an eclipse. They provide very powerful glare protection. I believe the highest in the game at 3. These can be used for welding because they're so potent in that regard. Medium battery, very good. We got a screamer and more smoke, so this would imply to me that there are more smoke vents. And then we'll just get out of here. I can't really get eyes on anything because of the smoke vents. Again, not a real big fan of the vents in the game. Kind of feel like they can't be circumvented in any way. You basically just have to, just jump in the smoke. I don't care. They're not very circumventable. You just have to kind of deal with them as wherever they are. And I don't like that. I prefer to be able to... Ooh. Oh, it's just a slime pit room? Okay. Yeah, watch out for the slime pits as we move through. Yeah, so I don't love the peek again, please. I just want to... Okay. No hostile detected. Okay. There's a big storage room. We've actually not been in one of these yet. There will be... Mostly it's 2 different types that I see on the regular basis. Let's just make sure there's nothing hiding in the corners over here. Number 1 is chemical storage and tools, and then number 2 is mutagen. So I don't know if it still exists because I haven't seen it in a long time, but there used to be a layout of this room that spawned basically mutagen on every single shelf. So you would come away with like 13 vials of mutagen. That does not appear to be the case here. This is the chemical and tool storage. So you'll see there's lots of different compounds or rather raw materials. I don't really see any compounds. I'll take that. Clean water, I don't care. More bleach. I mean, we already picked up some bleach. We might as well. Basic chemistry set, again, has some interesting qualities that are required for crafting. I don't know that I really have anything I want to craft with them, but we'll take it. Clean water, no. UPS, largely obsoleted in this game. I don't know that we'll even cover UPS. I thought it was going to be fully removed from the game, so I'm surprised that even still exists. I thought it was fully removed. If we look at our, basically a UPS is a universal power system or something, and it's basically in lieu of batteries, you install that into a tool, and then the tool just gets dropped on the recharging station to recharge. That is what our jackhammer uses. That's why we're able to drop our jackhammer directly on our recharger to charge it, is because it's charging via this universal power system, or whatever the S stands for. Where's the UPS? Universal... It doesn't even... Unified Power Supply. My mistake. But yeah, that's the point of those. I thought they were removed from the game as standalone items, but apparently that's not... That's apparently not the case. Clean water. Lab journal again. Those lab journals contain mutagen recipes and ring clamps. Nothing we're very interested in. Check the lockers. Nothing. We're losing stamina because of our weight that we're currently carrying. We're at 200 pounds. We should head back upstairs, and we should call the episode. Mostly, I just don't have time to record today. It's very disappointing how far behind I'm getting in my recording schedule. And it's definitely starting to feel like starting to be stressful because I'm not able to... You were hurt. Yes, we were poisoned, so we took some HP damage there. It's if we look at the poison, oh, it's already gone. If you look at the poison, it'll say something like uncommon pain and rare damage or something like that. Basically, that just means that depending on the roll, it will either increase our pain potentially, or it could actually deal damage. I believe it always deals damage to the torso. I'm not 100% on that. But yeah, we took some pain there and stuff from the poison gas. That's okay. Yeah, starting to stress out a little bit at how far I'm falling behind. I think I have... So it's Monday. I believe I have episodes of Fallout up until Wednesday, Tuesday or Wednesday. And then I have episodes of Cataclysm up until Tuesday or Wednesday. So I'm falling behind, and tomorrow I have my appointment with my psych, which is like an hour of talking. So a lot of times I finish having my phone call with her, and like I can't record because my voice is already hoarse from talking uninterrupted for an hour. So I'm just hoping we don't miss a day. I know people get really upset when you miss a day. Anyway, let's not worry about that. Let's call the episode here. So for now, thank you for watching. We found the Night Vision Cbm. Very excited about that. We're going to install that post haste. So in the coming episodes, we'll probably at least do that if I remember to. But that's going to do it for now. So thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed the episode. I'll be back with more Cataclysm tutorial content in the near future. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Liking the video. A lot of people don't know this, and most people have already stopped watching the episode at this point. Most people don't know this, but liking is like the #1 way that you can increase people seeing your video. So the more likes I get, like people watching the video, that's great and all. But there are a lot of terrible videos that people watch, like hate watch. So likes are one of the highest metrics that YouTube uses in order to promote videos. So the more likes a video gets, the more likely it is to show up in the search bar. So that's really important. So remember to like, hit that like, smash that like button, and help me out. And I, of course, will be back with more tutorial content in the near future. So I'll see you in the next episode.